Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Our number two of the line, Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. AndrewMcLeanWho.com and Talk 99.5 on YouTube, Real Talk 99.5 TV. By the way, that was Tyra Banks, not Naomi Campbell on that show, John Bird.
I hope she's not listening. She
I
might sue us.
can't believe you got that mixed up. Actually, I was the one that brought it up, but yeah. I mean, they're all the supermodels are the same to me. I don't know the difference. But
Never really found them attractive.
yeah. So Tyra Banks turned out to be an evil person, just like Naomi Campbell. So there you go. Trying to find my charger here before my tablet dies, because I need my tablet, because I gotta get some suggestions from you guys as far as what John Bird plays next week. That's right. It's that time of day, and we're going to be doing this every Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, we'll be doing that every Thursday, and then we'll have our final four tomorrow, and that gives me time to,
That's right. And you could just pass me the final four tomorrow.
Yeah, I will.
I'll get it to the audience. Oh no, I don't think I have my charger. Oh yes, I do.
Whew.
That was close. So here's what we do. If you don't know, if you're just joining us and you've never heard of John Bird Plays the Guitar, we let you guys give us suggestions on what you want to hear from John Bird come next week, next Friday. Now, John Bird's going to be playing the guitar today from the winner of last week, but we'll normally be doing it on Fridays. But on Thursday, we get your suggestions, and the way to do that, the way to send them in is via the text line. So text us 205-545-9950. We will compile a list, and we will select the top four. Do we have a special picker for this week yet?
Not yet. We need to find one, but we will.
Okay. Maybe Tony Gump or something like that.
Yeah, maybe you and Tony split duties. Duty.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But y'all send them in. What do you want to hear John Bird play on Friday? And we will square that away. No genre or anything. We're still just kind of going
with the flow.
Going with the flow. We're free balling it.
And let me mention it. It's usually better if you go with something that is a little more familiar, because you want to get the votes. Even if it's picked for the final four, you might not get a lot of votes. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, if you pick some sort of oddball song, then it's not going to get put in the final four. It's likely won't get put in the final four, and even if it did, it won't get the votes that it needs. Please come to Boston.
Please come to Boston for the springtime. That's a good one.
Dale says Painted Black.
Oh, yeah, Rolling Stones.
Is that a Rolling Stone song?
Mm-hmm.
Painted Black. Okay. Y'all keep sending them in. We'll make a list and get that taken care of. Looking at other headlines, I was somebody, I don't remember who it was. I think it was my buddy that sent me a text, and he said that Tucker Carlson, this was yesterday, he said Tucker Carlson just got detained in Israel. He was in Israel. I know. Everybody's thinking, are you serious? He was in Israel to interview Mike Huckabee. And the reason he wanted to interview Mike Huckabee is apparently they had a spat on social media, and they wanted to sit down like men and discuss it and say, here's what I'm seeing. This is what I believe, blah, 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 blah. It essentially revolved around how Christians were being treated within the state of Israel. And I think did he actually post the interview already? No, he did not. Oh, yeah, he did. We spoke to, no, here's what happened. He did an interview about how does Israel treat Christians. He said, "We spoke to one whose family has lived there since Jesus. His story is shocking. I did not listen to that podcast. But anyway, so I'll just paint the picture here for you because I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I tried to get to the bottom of it. It said that Tucker claimed that he was detained and interrogated by Israeli officials at the airport in Tel Aviv. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee responded to reports saying that it was no big deal and it happens to everybody. Tucker was in Israel to conduct an interview with former presidential candidate and now U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. Carlson reportedly told the Daily Mail, quote, "Men who identified themselves as airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer into a side room, and then demanded to know what we spoke to Ambassador Huckabee about."
Whoa.
In response to the report, Mike Huckabee released a statement on X, and he said, uh, everyone who comes in and out of Israel, every country for that matter, has passports checked and routinely asked security questions. Even me going in and out with diplomatic passports and diplomatic visas. Do you think though that they hammer Mike Huckabee when he's going in and out of Israel in the airport as the U.S. ambassador? I don't know. I mean, maybe that's true. I don't know. Seems kind of odd. He was retweeting a piece from Eaton Fishberg, who wrote about the Daily Mail story. He said the Daily Mail story was just updated with a statement from the U.S. Embassy in Israel confirming that Tucker's allegations are complete nonsense. Now, remember, this is what Mike Huckabee retweeted. He said the article says a spokesperson for the U.S. Embassy in Israel denied that Carlson was detained and claimed he, quote, received the same passport control questions that countless visitors to Israel, including Ambassador Mike Huckabee and other diplomats, receive as part of normal entrance and exit from Israel. It is not accurate that Israel was only going to let Tucker into the country for the interview. The only engagement the embassy had with Israel about his visit was to coordinate his private plane landing as part of facilitating a seamless visit. It was Tucker who chose to only come into the country for a few hours and depart. And Tucker received the same positive treatment of any visitors to Israel. That was a part of the update. Now, Tucker has yet to release a statement on the incident outside of what he reportedly told the Daily Mail. However, he did post a photo of himself in Israel saying greetings from Israel. The Daily Mail article said Carlson said he and his staff were detained in Israel on Wednesday following an interview with Donald Trump's ambassador to the country. He flew into Tel Aviv for a sit-down interview with Mike Huckabee, who challenged Carlson to speak to him directly following an online spat about the country's treatment of Christians. Carlson, who frequently criticizes Israel for its military actions in Gaza, took Huckabee up on his offer, but his critics and pro-Israel activists began piling on Carlson for purportedly not leaving the airport during his brief visit. He revealed that he was met with hostility in the Middle Eastern country. Carlson exclusively told the Daily Mail that shortly after the interview, Israeli officials confiscated his passport and hauled one of his colleagues off to an interrogation room. And then he gave that quote of men who identified themselves as our airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer into the side room, and then demanded to know what we spoke to Huckabee about. It was bizarre. We are now out of the country. So, Israel Foreign Ministry has since responded to the Daily Mail's report and stated, quote, contrary to the reports, Tucker Carlson and his entourage were not detained, delayed, or interrogated. Mr. Carlson and his party were politely asked a few routine questions in accordance with standard procedures applied to many travelers. So, there's a little bit of controversy with Tucker Carlson going to Israel. Now, it was the Daily Mail that approached Tucker Carlson to ask that question, like, how was your time in Israel? And he was like, well, they started hassling us at the airport. I'm not going to pretend to know how you get treated at the Israeli airport, and I've got to imagine with the fact that they're surrounded by countries that hate them, they probably have to be on their p's and q's
Yes.
at their points of transport. But I don't know. It seems bizarre to me, the idea that Huckabee, and I like Mike Huckabee personally, but that he gets this treatment going in and out of the country. You would think that they would know who he is and he would be able to just kind of come and go as he pleases. But who knows, man? It's a different country. They do it. They do things differently, and they are very concerned about who comes and who goes. But the reason this is a big story for so many people goes back to the whole conversation about Israel in the first place, which is they're very against you criticizing Israel. So this catches eyeballs because Tucker Carlson has been very critical of the Israeli government. And if he goes over there and he says he is hassled, it would line up with what people have seen or have been talking about in the past. And so, true or not, whether Tucker Carlson is accurately describing what happened or if Mike Huckabee's accurately describing what happened, it would kind of go along with the way people have felt you're treated if you are a critic of Israel. So, or critical of the Israeli government, should I say. But who knows, man? Who knows? That'll all come out in the wash, I'm sure. And if they're going to be posting this interview with Mike Huckabee, I would be very interested to see it. Because, again, I like Tucker Carlson. I also like Mike Huckabee. So, be good to get to the bottom of what's really going on over there. 205-545-9950. Remember, keep sending in those songs to the text line. We got you, man. John Bird plays a guitar. We want to know what you want to hear.
We got some good ones.
And we got some good ones. We'll give them to you next. There are 400 plus investigators working on the Nancy Guthrie case.
That's insane.
And we've got nothing?
Money talks.
I don't know why. I'll get into these song suggestions in a moment, but don't ask why I'm looking at Chili's reviews. But I found one, and this review is from a guy named Dan, and he gives the Chili's. I don't know what the location is, but he gives it a 1 star. And he says, currently trapped in Chili's bathroom because they're out of toilet paper. I called the restaurant from the stall twice to ask for a refill. No one has come. It's been 15 minutes. My fajitas are probably cold. And then under that is another review from Dan at the same Chili's with a 5 star. And Dan says, I was calling the wrong Chili's the entire time. They just came to my rescue, and I don't know how to delete reviews.
Oh, no.
So, at least Dan rectified that Google review.
Yes.
You shouldn't be able to delete reviews. Like, if you leave a bad review and they rectify it, I mean, I guess you probably can. Dan just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way. Well, he was busy.
Yeah, he was.
Take care of business.
Yeah, poor Dan. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, there's a bunch of them. My Maria by Brooks and Dunn.
Great song.
My Maria. Wild Horses by Rolling Stones.
Oh, love that one.
Cherry Pie by Warrant.
She's mine.
Curtis Lowe by Leonard Skinner.
There you go.
Have you done that one before?
No, I don't think so. You may have heard it. I do it live.
I think my dad kept suggesting that back in the day. I think that's why it sounds familiar. The Guitar Man by Bread.
That's another good one.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's good. We need to listen to it.
Hotel California by the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Beth by Kiss. Save My Life. I'm going down for the last time.
Gosh. Oh, man. I used to play that back in the
really
early 80s. Yeah. Save My Life. It's a really good song.
This one says, what is T.G. Shepherd? I loved them, everyone.
Yes, that's a good one. I love T.G. Shepherd.
Okay.
Country.
Spoke in the Wheel by Black Label Society.
Hadn't heard that one. I'm going to check all of these out.
Hold On by Santana.
Oh, yeah.
Highway Patrol, Junior Brown.
That's a funny one.
Give Me Shelter by Rolling Stones.
Oh, yeah.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida on there.
Mr. Jones by the Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones and me.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it would be.
Wake Up, Little Susie.
Oh, yeah. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up.
Help Me Make It Through the Night.
Take the ribbon from your hair.
I don't know any of these. John Bird needs to sing Wearing That Loved On Look. Wearing That Loved On Look. What is that?
Yeah, that's a country lover song.
Oh, okay. Slow Ride by Foghat.
Oh, man. Used to play that back in the 80s. Slow ride. Good stuff today, man.
One by U2.
Yes.
Trucker Bobby says, I'm just now heading to work. I didn't miss Jumper Plays the Guitar, did I? No, that'll be at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Van Halen, Ice Cream Man.
I'm your ice cream man. Stop when I'm passing by. That's a good one.
How about them Cowgirls? George Strait.
Yes. Love George Strait.
Forever by Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
So, a Sweat Little Sheila.
I definitely am going to listen to that one.
So maybe is it Sweet Little Sheila or is it Sweat Little Sheila?
Two very different songs depending on whether it's an A or an E.
Show Them to Me by Rodney Carrington. You know which one that is?
Yeah, I love Rodney Carrington's the king of live parodies.
I remember that. Show them to me.
Yeah.
Set them puppies free. I don't remember the song. I just remember. I vaguely remember that one. Okay. Sweet little Susie.
Oh, Sweet's version. Okay.
Sweet little Sheila, not Susie. Sweet little Sheila, not Sweat Little Sheila.
Oh, so it is Sweet. Okay.
My Maria is Richard Dixon's favorite song, says Cindy. So go ahead and scratch that out. That's a no-go. But there's quite a few.
Yeah, there is. And I mean, it's going to keep going to the end of the show.
Yeah, any suggestions y'all got, just send them on in. We'll get you hooked right on up. If you want to get in on the show, 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. The State of the Union coming up next week. And there are Democrat lawmakers who are skipping Trump's State of the Union to hold a rally in Washington, D.C. So instead of grandstanding and causing a scene and ripping up speeches and yelling, you have no mandate like Al Green did last time, they are just going to skip it and go do their own rally, apparently. They're planning on counter-programming a counter-programming event to take place on the National Mall rather than showing respect to the office of the president like most people used to do. In 2020, then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi stood up after Trump had delivered his State of the Union and tore up her copy of the remarks. We remember that, staring him down like a mean girl. Then there was Al Green last year who stood up in the middle of Trump's congressional address and called out, "You don't have a mandate." He then refused to sit down, and Mike Johnson had to get the sergeant at arms to walk him out. And the pattern of disrespect will continue this year, according to a news release from MoveOn.org, which is co-hosting the, quote, People's State of the Union on the National Mall. Democratic lawmakers participating in it includes Senators Chris Murphy of Connecticut, Ed Markey of Massachusetts, Jeff Merkley of Oregon, Tina Smith of Minnesota, and Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. On the House side so far, and it could be more, Representatives Greg Cesar of Texas, Yasmin Ansari of Arizona, Becca Balint of Vermont, Veronica Escobar of Texas, Pramila Jayapal of Washington, Delia Ramirez of Illinois, and Bonnie Watson Coleman of New Jersey. So those are the Democratic lawmakers who have said that they are not going to be showing up for the State of the Union and instead holding their own rally. Now, Chris Murphy in particular, who is considered a 2028 Democratic presidential hopeful, what a joke that is, said in a statement, Donald Trump has made a mockery of the State of the Union speech, taking a moment that is meant to bring the country together and turning it into a campaign rally to spew hatred and division. Democrats have no obligation to reward him with an audience as he lies and attacks people who disagree with him.
This is getting so old.
He said the State of the Union should be a reckoning with reality, but Donald Trump will use it to spin fiction and normalize the gross abuse of power. Right. Here's what Donald Trump's going to talk about during the State of the Union. He's going to talk about the economy because that's what Donald Trump cares about. He's going to talk about the economy and all the accomplishments. And guess what? Democrats can't handle Trump accomplishments. 205-545-9950, Alabama Men's Clinic. AlabamaMen'sClinic.com. You feeling wiped out when you wake up? Is your waistline creeping? Is your bedroom confidence slipping? All of these things could be low T. This is stuff that could change your life. Change everything about the way you feel, about your confidence, about the way you feel it, the way she feels it. You're not the only one dealing with this. This is a situation that affects a lot of men, and not just older men, middle-aged men, young men. It's a fact. It used to not be that way, but it is. It's just across the board at this point. And there's so many different aspects and different solutions that they have to help you out. I was at Alabama Men's Clinic just about 3 weeks ago or so, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was just kind of hanging out and talking to Jeremy and the guys and discussing what exactly it is that they see the most of, what are the complaints that they get from guys when they first show up and everything else. And um, a lot of these stories are similar. A lot of guys are dealing with the same thing, and that's why I say don't be embarrassed about this. Don't be ashamed of it, because it's one of those things that guys just they don't like to talk about. They don't like to bring up, not just with other guys, but with their wives, with whatever. They just deal with it, and there's no reason for you to be dealing with it when there's real solutions out there. So here's what I want you to do. If you think you might be dealing with low T because you're dealing with problems in the bedroom, you're dealing with hair loss, you're dealing with weight gain, whatever it is, call Alabama Men's Clinic and just talk to them for a minute and say, hey, here's what I've got going on. Could I come get checked out? And they will absolutely let you do that. And Jeremy even told me, he's like, we've had people show up that didn't have an appointment and said, hey, would you guys mind checking me out? They will squeeze you in. Like they don't mind. And the beauty of it is when you're going through the process and the treatments or whatever it may be, you've got a direct line to these guys. It's not like dealing with a doctor's office. Like, you can call them at 10 o'clock at night and say, hey, guys, I've got this, and this going on. What do I need to do? And they'll walk you through the whole thing. So that's why I love Alabama Men's Clinic. I'm a big fan. I've been a fan for a long time, and you will be a fan too if you'll just set yourself an appointment. Call them at this number, 598-7000. That's 205-598-7000, or go online, alabamamensclinic.com. You can literally set yourself an appointment in a matter of 30 seconds. Like, it takes no time. So hook that up, man. They're right here in Birmingham, right here in Homewood off of Highway 31. And you could literally change your life. You hear me? You end up changing your wife's life as well. Your wife's life. There we go. And it'll be a good decision. Speaking of reports, I want to put this out there. Apparently, according to what outlet was this? I think it was according to Paul Sperry, senior reporter at Real Clear Investigations. He reports that after the 2016 election, that Barack Obama and Susan Rice both cried tears in front of the White House staff after Trump's 2016 win.
Oh, my gosh.
That they cried. They cried. That's how devastating that was. Here's the report. Reported that White House advisor Susan Rice and former President Barack Obama allegedly, quote, broke down and cried after Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. The claim is Paul Sperry claimed that more than 1,000 hours of new audio and video compiled by Columbia University in cooperation with the Obama Foundation showed that Obama and Rice were allegedly so distraught over Trump's win. He said Obama and Rice were so distraught after Trump won in 2016, they literally broke down and cried in front of White House staff, according to the 1,100 hours of new audio and video compiled. After all they'd built, they feared their accomplishments were at risk of being torn down by a con man and a clown. Trump had to be stopped, according to the report. And do you remember that photo where the White House staff was, after the election, stood out in front of the, I guess, the West Wing or wherever, the Rose Garden. They were out in the Rose Garden. And they were all dressed in black. They were all standing there together with their arms crossed with this just miserable look on their face. They were actually told that they had to wear all black that day to symbolize a funeral, if you will.
Everything is scripted with them. Everything.
The funeral for America. And these new revelations fit squarely with Obama's documented actions. Specifically, his direction that John Brennan and James Comey adopt the Hillary Clinton campaign Russia collusion narrative. The key difference was the delivery mechanism, because instead of laundering the claim through a fabricated dossier, they embedded it in an intelligence community assessment asserting that Putin got Trump elected, a claim that they knew was false. The underlying intelligence, finally released last year by Tulsi Gabbard, showed that Putin had in fact preferred Hillary Clinton to win. It was a total fraud carried out at the highest levels, and yet no one, absolutely no one, has been held accountable for that. But yeah, I mean, it all makes sense that tracks with the breakdown of Barack Obama and Susan Rice and probably the rest of the White House staff to say, we're so distraught over this, we have got to do something. We've got to do something to stop Donald Trump. And they threw everything at him. Democrats have spent every moment since that day proving that, one, they can't be trusted with power, but two, that they will do anything and everything to stop Donald Trump. Make no mistake. On top of that, Barack Obama's getting dragged on social media because of his infamous presidential center in Chicago that has received what was dubbed the headache-inducing new update. So you've seen, John Bird, the monstrosity that is the new Barack Obama Presidential Library.
Oh, yes.
It's awful. It's over budget. It is not being, it's not being done in time. It's a mess, essentially. And it's ugly as all get out. And now they've got a new update for it, a hideous new update due to Barack Obama's malignant narcissism, and it's sparking widespread mockery. So outside of it coming in over budget and way past schedule, those are not the only problems facing the project. Some residents of Chicago are unhappy about the monstrosity that looms over what was once a popular public park, which shows Barack Obama does not care about the people of Chicago. Now, Barack Obama has decided that the center needs an excerpt of one of his speeches on the side of the building. As the New York Post notes, words added to the $830 million structure are from a 2015 speech Obama delivered in Selma to mark the 50th anniversary of the civil rights marches. But this move has backfired horribly and made the center look like an even bigger joke. I want to show you again, they took an excerpt of one of his speeches from Selma, and they have put it in big letters on the side of the building. They want that portion of the speech on the side of the building. And you would think, okay, they're going to paint it on there in kind of a quote style form.
Right.
That's not what they did. This is what they did. For those of you watching on YouTube, because I can't really explain it, This is how they put the quote on the side of the building.
What the crap?
It looks just like a cluster of letters you can't even read.
It looks like Egyptian hieroglyphics.
What is that? That is ridiculous.
I guess I want it like an open book, but jeez.
No, it's bad. Uh, you are America. Oh, cause see, some of the words are even cut off. Like it gets to the end, and then it's like it stops the word halfway in the word, and then it starts back at the bottom. Is that it's bad, dude. It's bad.
Would you expect anything else?
Because if you read it as it's written, it says, "You are America, Ed by Habeland, unencumbered, 82 seas we." That's what it says. Maybe it's written in Swahili.
What the
Whoa, that's so,
grief?
dude. That's bad. That's real bad. What a monstrosity of a presidential library. You can't even. Okay, so here, this is what it looks like from the ground. Okay, just to give you some context, let me pull this up. Here you go, Jumper. This is what it looks like from the ground.
It looks like a tenement building.
What is that?
God.
Dude, leave it to Barack Obama to, even after being president, leave it to him to just completely screw stuff up. Oh, I've actually got here's a better version of it. If you look closely, and you can actually read the words if you zoom in. And it says Obama is a Marxist. There we go.
Okay, that's more truth and transparency. I like that.
That's what they should do. Oh, here's another one. If you zoom in even more so, it actually says, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. How about that?
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, the internet is unforgiving. So anyway, good for Barack Obama. While he's doing that and creating monstrosities all across America, Donald Trump is actually doing things to benefit the black community. Believe it or not, the racist Donald Trump, he actually held an event at the White House yesterday honoring Black History Month. I'll bring you some of that when we get back. Some of the things that he said, and one particular individual that he honored with a brand new medal. That and more next. Yeah. So, while speaking to the crowd yesterday at the White House for Black History Month, Trump surprises everybody with a big announcement about Dr. Ben Carson. He reveals that Ben Carson is going to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
About time.
An honor that he certainly deserves. And you could tell the crowd approved of this news when Trump told them that it was going to happen. I assume that that'll be going down at the State of the Union. So good for Dr. Carson. I've always liked Ben Carson.
Yeah, I was actually able to go to a speech he gave.
Oh, really?
Very eloquent. It was compelling because he talked about his upbringing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very compelling.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And on top of that, Donald Trump brought up a D.C. grandmother who lost her son due to violent crime in the city. And it was one of the most amazing things that I've seen in a while. Because when she first comes on stage, she asked Donald Trump, "Hey, can I have a hug?" And then she begins to speak. I want y'all to listen to this. It's great.
Come on. Thank you. Yes, you can. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. That's so nice. Thank you. I like her. Please.
I like him too. One thing I like about him, he keeps it real just like Grandma. I appreciate that because I can trust him because he tells exactly how he feels and what he thinks. Thank God for this president. I am filled, my cup runneth over. Because he allowed his constituents, his people to come to my house to interview me, to talk about the murder of my grandson. It seemed like nobody cared. I'm an advocate for murder. I marched. I rallied. I pulled out other families in the District of Columbia that had murders and did not have answers. Ooh. We marched and we rallied, and nobody heard me, Democrats. Get mad at me. Until this Republican sent his constituents, his people out there to interview me in my home. Have you ever heard of a thing? Then they invited me twice before Congress to testify for the beautiful bill that's going to change crime in the district. If you kill somebody, okay, you take a life, you do life. Just that simple. If you do a harsh crime, you do harsh time. Just that simple. And then we need National Guard, and which we did years ago. He brought it on. I love him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about that racist stuff. And don't be looking at me on the news hating on me because I'm standing up for somebody that deserves to be standing up for. Get off the man's back. Let him do his job. He's doing the right thing. Back up off of him. And Grandma said it.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
It was awesome.
She said, back up off of him. And so while, and here's the larger point to this. So while Donald Trump has regular average people on his side sticking up for him, in the lead up to the midterms, the left has people like Jimmy Kimmel sticking up for them. Jimmy Kimmel, who is going to be hosting a $25,000 per ticket fundraiser for House Democrats heading into the midterms. Actually, I think it's $25,000 to $300,000 per ticket. Listen to this report. Late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel will reportedly headline an upcoming fundraiser to benefit House Democrats. According to New York Times reporter Teddy Scheifler, Kimmel will be the special guest for a Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee benefit dinner next month. Schleifer shared an invitation for the event on Tuesday, revealing that it will take place in Los Angeles on March 10th and also feature House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Ticket prices range from $25,000 to over $300,000. According to Politico, two people familiar with the fundraiser who were granted anonymity to discuss the details confirmed the event. Kimmel has been a longtime supporter of Democrat Party, the Democrat Party, and has taken part in fundraiser events to support Democrat candidates. In 24, he led a similar Los Angeles event to raise money for then President Joe Biden's reelection campaign. Celebrity guests included George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and Barack Obama, and the event reportedly raised over $30 million. I would much rather have that grandma than Jimmy Kimmel with $30 million any day of the week.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the real America's grandma.
That's the real deal. And Trump's out here helping real people. One thing that you're about to see, this story is not making any headway whatsoever, but you've got 2 U.S. pilots that have been illegally arrested in West Africa during a routine fuel stop, who are now asking Donald, this happened back in December, who are now asking Trump to help them get out of basically a West Africa prison. It's actually a very sad story, but this is going to be the stuff that Trump is doing that's going to connect with people, and they say, hey, he's actually helping average people. Listen to this story.
This has been over a month. We're scared.
Mr. Trump, can you please come down here and get us out of here?
2 pilots, including one from New Jersey, jailed in a West African country for almost 6 weeks.
And they tell CBS News New York that it happened when they landed to refuel. Christine Sloan spoke with the 2 men on the phone.
Ewing resident Fabio Espinal Nunez has years of experience as a pilot, but the 33-year-old tells us nothing could prepare him for the terrifying ordeal around 6 weeks ago when the Republic of Guinea military forced its way on the plane he and co-pilot Brad Schlenker had landed in the West African nation in order to refuel.
There were around 100 army people, and they were pointing AK-47s at us and talking in French, which we do not know. More like screaming in French.
Nunez and Schlenker speaking to us on the phone from the prison they're being held in Guinea, describing what sounds like a scene out of a movie.
Around 4 to 5 heavily armored vehicles.
So essentially, these guys were taking a family from one place to another, stopped to refuel, and then get ambushed by their military. You'll see Donald Trump getting them out.